What up, party people? Welcome back to another episode of Hood Talk. Let's get it. Today's news in the hood, I will be speaking on the elements in prison that a lot of these YouTube channels are not speaking on, and specifically the prison story YouTube channels. So I chose to speak on that in regards of the things that goes on in prison that can help another one, right? Another person to not make the bad decision. Some of the things that goes on in prison that these guys are not talking about. I noticed that a lot of these guys on these YouTube channels, what they're talking about, in my own perspective, it's the bad in regards of making themselves look good, in regards of making their channel look good, in regards of bigging up the jail that they was at, trying to make that jail seem as though that it was the worst jail in the whole United States. And them, as an inmate, they survived it, right? Well, on Hood Talk, that's not the case with us. We want to distribute all the things and the elements of the jailhouse that you should see and know about and implement into your livelihood to not want to make the decision to go do violence and create crimes. So the way that the results of that be in regards of you going to jail, right? So this episode here going to be a little different from my prior episodes. And I will speak on a time when I was in jail doing prison time. And one of the things that I saw, right? I can honestly say, during prison time, it's automatically that wherever you been located, right? There's violence everywhere. There's real men everywhere. There's alpha men everywhere. So the thing with you is, when you're doing prison time and you've been thrown somewhere around another group of men, you have to tell yourself there's two things you can do. You can stand up or you can lay down. It's all up to you. Preferably, the best thing for you to do is stand up and be a man in every and each situation that comes your way, right? Because there are situations that's going to come your way. You know, they got these guys that come to jail and say, well, I'm just not going to bother nobody. I'm going to stay to myself, or I'm not going to play with nobody. That can only carry you so far in prison. It really can. Especially when you've been around a lot of group of guys in a dome of at least 35 other men, right? You are going to encounter some type of altercation, whether it's negative or positive, right? So what that means is you're going to get exposed, you know, and trying to not talk to anybody or play around with anybody, that can only carry you so far. You know, and honestly, by doing that, you put a stigma on yourself, because what people going to want to know is, what's up with that dude, right? Why he always quiet? Why he don't never say nothing? That could be a good thing or that can be a bad thing. So I prefer you to stand up. Laying down in prison is the worst thing that you could do as a man. I promise you. That's the worst thing you can do. I have an interview. Well, not an interview. I apologize. It's not an interview. I have a video, right, that I met two people about a week ago in a bar, and two beautiful people. They a couple, man and a girl, and however they asked about my Hood Talk entity, right? So I was explaining to them what Hood Talk is about. We do prison stories. We show prison stories. But at the end of the day, that's not what we want my fans to grasp out of it. I want these prison stories that I talk about, whether I'm speaking on it or whether my interviewee is speaking on it or whether I upload a video on it. That's not what I want my audience to get. What I want my audience to get out of these prison stories is the positive side of it, right? So the lady was asking me, can I tell her, and I will upload that video real soon. Her and her boyfriend was asking me to tell them something graphic that I saw or participated in when I was doing prison time. Well, I told her I initiated the conversation, but I had to come to a halt with it because of YouTube, right? So this story that I was going to tell her, I'm about to release it to my audience for the first time. And you all can take what you want to take from me. I hope you take something positive from me, because honestly, it was a negative situation that happened that I saw. But negative situations in jail can alter one's mind for the worse or for the better, right? It's all up to that person. Literally. It's all up to that person. So this episode here, what I'm about to speak on is, for those of you who know, my fans who've been following me, you all know I'm from New Orleans. A lot of my people from New Orleans, you all know about the New Orleans jails. For those of you who don't, I'll explain it to you much as I can in a simpler way in this episode, right? So I was in HOD. HOD is a prison that's no longer in New Orleans. Well, physically wise, it's still there. The building is still there, but they don't use it no more. In the time when I was going to jail, when I went to jail in the 90s, it was pretty bad, but it wasn't bad as people proclaimed it to be in the 90s, right? So this guy I was in HOD with on the 7th floor, right? It wasn't a juvenile tip, but it was a young adult tip, meaning 20 years old and up to 30s, early 30s, right? And the tear up on that tip was a guy from out the 17th ward. In New Orleans, they go by wards: 3rd ward, 4th ward, 5th ward, 6th ward, 8th ward, and etc. So this guy was from the 17th ward. Big old black guy, right? He was about 6'1", maybe about 260 pounds. I wind up meeting this guy. He seemed pretty cool, right? Now, in meeting him, I discovered that he was on a charge that really he wasn't going to see no time of daylight from no more. So, in that charge, he showed me a handcuff key. And what he said was, he have to go to court next month, right? He's facing 2 life sentences. So, and this is public records, what I'm speaking to y'all. You all can Google it. The man's name is Terry Fountainberry. So, he had a handcuff key, and what he said was, that's the inmate name. He's still in jail right now to the day in Angola. Terry said, when he go to court, and if they're talking about giving him a life sentence, he gonna wait till they bring him out. And mind you, like I said, the guy was pretty big. He gonna elbow whatever guard on him, run in the bathroom, because he said he gonna put the handcuff key in his mouth. Run in the bathroom, take the handcuff key off, the handcuffs off, rather, I meant to say. And at that time, Orleans Parish building, the prison used to come up from Broadway. That was the main entrance, right? And if I'm not mistaken, I want to say he the reason that entrance got shut down. So I'm going to wrap this episode up, and I will be back with a part 2. Until next time, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that notification bell so you can be alerted when I upload more videos. If you know someone that's struggling with mental health and mental illness, do not be afraid to offer me assistance. Superfly Entertainment presents We're Not the Talk, we're Hood Talk.